The Mattawan Wildcats are on the air. Welcome to the Mattawan Wildcats Network, powered by highschoolstreaming.com. Today's game is presented by Main Street Pub, Whiteman and Associates, Bud Distributing, Boss Services, Net Designs Web Design, and by Tapper Automotive.
Good evening, fans, and thanks so much for tuning in to the Mattawan Wildcats Network. I'm Tanner White, filling in for Lance Caparosi tonight. You'll often hear me on the Portage Northern Huskies Network, as well as a number of our other properties, including South Haven. Tonight, it's the Vicksburg Bulldogs in town here in Mattawan for a Smack and Wolverine crossover and for the kickoff of the 2024 fall football season. Tonight, we're scheduled to kick off at 7 p.m. The Wildcats welcome in brand new head coach Jerry Schultz, and they cleaned house in a number of ways. Coach Schultz's team all around him will go Dave Haas, Ryan Cassie, Chris Gilliam, and Rob O'Rourke as assistant coaches. On the Vicksburg side, this is year 17 for head coach Tom Marquez. Coach Marquez carries Curtis Phelps, Mark Blazer, Tim Kirby, Cody Caswell, a couple of alumni being Evan Anderson, Travis Vann, Brian Valier, RJ Valier, and also Craig Lomason as their assistant coaches. Those staffs about ready to do battle in, we'll call it 14 minutes or so. We've got just over 13 here on the scoreboard in the south end of the stadium here in Mattawan. This is my third straight season opener with Vicksburg as the opponent. I've truly lucked out. Past 2 years with Portage Northern. Northern won both of those games 54-17 last year and 41-27 in the 2022 home openers. A couple of fun notes about Vicksburg. Their athletic director, Michael Roy, got some really cool news after the NFL draft. His nephew, Carson Barnhart, was signed as an undrafted free agent with the Los Angeles Chargers to rejoin his head coach, Jim Harbaugh. Harbaugh, of course, moving from the Michigan Wolverines to the NFL ranks with the Los Angeles Chargers, rather. They both took that monumental leap to the NFL. I've heard word that Carson Barnhart did not make that 53-man roster cut, but there's always practice squads, and you never know, especially with injuries mid-season. Mattawan will take on Portage Northern. That'll be a home game for Northern on the 13th of September at 7 p.m. We're here at 24898 McGillen Ave in Mattawan. Slightly over 12 minutes now into warm-ups. You're going to hear a little bit from our sponsors. And when we come back, we'll be just about ready to kick off. Again, I'm Tanner White here on the Mattawan Wildcats Network. Thanks for joining us.
Hundreds of vehicles. Tapper has them. 3 Pawpaw locations. Tapper has them. Looking for a Chevy or GMC? Tapper has them. Looking for a Ford F-150, Ford Escape, Explorer, or the reimagined Bronco? Tapper has them. 3 Pawpaw locations with new and pre-owned vehicles, expert service, and on-the-spot financing. Tapper, Chevy, and GMC. Tapper Ford, and Tapper Budget Cars off Red Arrow Highway. Get to the Pawpaw exit 60 off I-94. Tapper Automotive, proud sponsor of the Mattawan Wildcats. Good luck to the Mattawan Wildcats from everyone at Main Street Pub, Mattawan's local stop for food and fun. For well over 20 years, Main Street Pub has been the official pregame and postgame stop of the Mattawan Wildcats, offering salad, soups, chili, apps, sandwiches, wraps, and of course, their famous gourmet burgers. Order online for pickup or just stop in. We're open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday open till midnight. We have happy hours weekdays from 3 to 6 and late night specials after 8 p.m. Hey, and don't forget, Main Street Pub gift cards make great gifts. Main Street Pub, exit 66, just north of I-94. Go Wildcats!
Hi, this is Jenna Pageant of Bud Distributing, your Anheuser-Busch wholesaler for all of Berrien and Cass counties since 1970, and proud of the connection with the businesses and community. Whether gathering with family and friends or just getting together after the game, we're distributing a great portfolio of products, not to mention partnering with several businesses that produce their products right here in our local community. So here's to another successful season from your family at Bud Distributing.
Are you looking to stand out from the crowd? Net Designs has the skills and creativity to effectively set your business or organization apart from the competition. With 30 years of experience, Net Designs provides professional, eye-catching websites that increase your credibility and give your clients a greater understanding of your brand. We provide content writing, social media support, e-commerce with shopping and payment integration, and can brand your business with logos and graphics. From mom and pop shops to big business, Net Designs is ready for your next website project. Check us out at netdesignsonline.com.
Hello, my name is Susanna Deno, and I'm a civil engineer in the transportation sector at Whiteman. I've been part of the Whiteman family for over 18 years. We are focused on our cultural values: fun and happy, creative and innovative, passionate, accountable and supportive, family-oriented, and servant-hearted. These values are applied to our everyday work that we do for our clients and the community support that we participate in alongside of our clients. Whiteman, it's all about people. Hello, my name is Susanna Deno, and I'm a civil engineer in the transportation sector at Whiteman. I've been part of the Whiteman family for over 18 years. Whiteman's ongoing commitment to supporting the community is not new. We have been part of the Twin Cities since 1946, and we have participated in so many local events. Some oldies are Venetian Festival, Habitat for Humanity, the pig auctions at the fair, the Great Bed Race, Adopt a Road, and Adopt a Highway. Whiteman, it's all about people.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the MHSAA, are the 292,000 high school sports students in Michigan. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Michigan. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Looking for a score, a schedule, a story? MHSAA.com has you covered. Our newly redesigned website has everything you need to follow high school sports in Michigan. And it's optimized for mobile use. Fans can submit scores on a Friday night, check playoff pairings and game times, or read about the student athletes from your community. Your first stop is MHSAA.com. Connect with us online and get everything you need all in one place.
The toss. They've got Braylon Valier and believe number 21 Nathan Hess as their two deep returners. We'll try and check on that in a moment. To kick off for the Wildcats, number 87, the soccer substitute, Kai Jensen, a junior from the soccer team, will be filling in at kicker for the starting kicker Samuel Jacob. And some good sportsmanship right before the kick as we're still hearing starting lineups from the PA announcer. The kicker there, Kai Jensen, gave the official a nice little handshake. Ball teed up, 40-yard line. Are you ready for some football? In fact, we're even a little bit early. 6:58 p.m. local time, and that ball is on the tee. Everybody's lined up. I love it. Opening kickoff for the 2024 season here in Mattawan on the way. It's down the left hash on one hop through the end zone for a touchback. Get a first look at the Vicksburg offense headed out in mere moments. Again, 21.5 points a game for Vicksburg. That is a position they have very rarely found themselves in. It's been an explosive offense for a long time. And the scheme changes very little under Coach Marquez typically year to year. They run what they run, and you've just got to do it well. You've got to execute. Vicksburg trotting out senior quarterback Hunter Bell, a returner, and played outstanding against Portage Northern last year. Goes 6 foot, 167. He'll start out of a one-back set, completes a short hook, and a swarm is going to hold that to a gain of maybe just 2 after forward progress. Anthony Marquez, coach's son, making the first reception out as a solo receiver on the right side with a 3-by-1 set, 3 receivers the other way. That was just a completion officially of 2 yards. Second down, 8 coming up. Anthony Marquez now stands 6'5", 215 in his junior year, and absolutely looks the part of an ex-receiver. He's still going to be split out himself as a solo receiver, but you've got a wing on the left side, an off-ball tight end with one halfback also set to the left. They motion, and illegal motion, it looks like they're going to say. Now, Michael Johnson from Vicksburg, listed at 5'7", 265, ostensibly called a running back, but of course, mostly a fullback, and that's real old school. The build, the sheer aesthetic of a guy that size, squat and wide. Not too much of a secret what's going to be happening when he's in the game for the most part. Go back to the same set. Will they motion Johnson again? They do. Johnson's now going to insert back on the left side. Quick give on the right side, a broken tackle and a medium length run. Zachary Klein going to be a running back to watch out of the Bulldogs backfield. He goes 5'10", 193. He's also had a couple of pieces detailing him from NLive. The expectations for Klein are high. One of the only returners with much any experience really carrying the ball. Bulldogs with a third and medium, should be about 5 yards to go. Just now, 7 p.m. I love that we got this game started a little bit early. They're now in a 3-receiver set with 1 tight end. It's a deep drop for Bell. He flushes to his left, got some room to run. He's already got it tucked. Bell crosses the line of scrimmage. Gonna be close and likely short of that first down before the 30-yard line of the Bulldogs. Still looking for an official spot. Marquez thinks maybe our offense will stay out there. The first official to spot the ball looked like they were going to give Bell enough on that scramble. The second did not. And it looks like they're going to the punting unit. It's 4th and just under 1 yard. It's a tough call, but you understand why so early on in the game they may be forced to do it. Their punter is Mitchell Bayer as he trots out. It's a spread punt look. Essentially 4 receivers, your normal lineman, and 1 personal protector. Snap is good. Punt is away. It's really high, but a bit of a shank off the side of the foot, just past midfield. Some decent roll to it, and that is picked up and downed at the 43-yard line of Mattawan. Not a huge field flipper, but it could have been worse considering what it looked like coming off of the foot. First drive lasts 2 minutes, ball to be played here. It's a double wing set, it's a fullback, and it's all about deception. It is taken from the shotgun. That's the most interesting part about it. They give on a dive to the fullback, and there is nothing there. Bulldogs stout, and it's 72. Luke Deal to make that first stop. Deal, a down lineman, goes 6'4", 247. The son of Brian Deal, still the Vicksburg head baseball coach, and has moonlighted at times with the football staff. It's going to be officially marked a gain of just more than 1 yard. Bulldogs also have Grant Daniels in the middle. Daniels goes 6'1", 315, a brick house, if you will. And the Bulldogs do flop their formation based on strong sides. Best thing about this offense is you can run it just about every play. They went with triple option, and the QB's wrap. Shackelford will be the punter himself, so common in the high school ranks. Bulldogs will not rush this punt, a very much hold-up style return. Ball is bouncing actually in the wrong direction for the Cats. Looked like it's going to be marked out of bounds. Number 2 rather will start. Clock reads 7:38 here, first quarter. Mattawan and the Vicksburg Bulldogs to kick off the 2024 fall season. Clock now will wind to 7:30. Hunter Bell back with the possession. Hunter Bell back in the shotgun. It's a 4 wide receiver set. 3 of them to the left side on a 3-by-1. Little flood concept. Little bit late, and he's got to be careful. Connor O'Rourke nearly undercut that thing and could have been out the gate the other way. Dangerous. It's something Vicksburg's been putting on film for well over a decade. Flood concepts, trying to stretch the defense a little bit horizontally, but more so vertically. You already got. It looks like we're spotting about a yard short again. And now the Bulldogs even more so in decision territory. They've got 1 single yard to go. It's a little bit longer than that first 4th down, but you've got the ball a little bit closer. This spot looks like the Bulldogs' 36-yard line. They didn't get quite as much on the markage as they thought they would. Clock reads about 5.5 minutes. 4th down, just under 2 yards for the Bulldogs offense. Michael Johnson, that can't miss frame at 5'7", 265. You got to think he's going to take you to where that ball is going. And don't know if the Bulldogs were able to get lined up or if that's what the difficulty was, but they're going to have to call timeout before this 4th down play. It's a 4th down and 2 when we come back here on the Mattawan Wildcats Network.
So, how are the kids?
Well, Emily made the honor roll.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, we're really proud of her. Tyler, on the other hand, though.
What's going on?
He's been moody lately, just feeling down and not like himself.
Oh, we've been there. Nick was struggling last spring. He was so anxious and stressed.
Really? What helped?
Well, he joined the soccer team. And ever since, he's been a lot happier. He has more energy, he's less stressed, and he's definitely in a better mood at home. It's made a huge difference.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad he's getting out of the house, he's getting some exercise, and he's off his phone for once. It's been good for his mental health.
Sounds like it's been good for your mental health, too.
And we're back for the 4th and 2 snap. Hunter Bell, he's going to motion Michael Johnson there again as Johnson sets. Bell fakes, gives it himself on an option. Did he fall forward? Might just have it. You've got one official signaling first down for sure. That's a line judge furthest away from the play. Now I think the consensus is yes, first down. And what a way to get the first down. Hunter Bell had to call his own number. Bulldogs a fully spread principal offense, something that was rather common here in Mattawan just up until last year, and now the arrival of Coach Schultz giving them a different look. Bulldogs with 3 wide and 1 tight end again. Bell gives a long ride, now pulls it, keeps it himself again, and not going to get much of anything, maybe 2 yards. Back-to-back plays with Bell carrying the ball. And speaking of, he carried out that ride quite a long time, kept that ball in the belly of the running back, maybe sometimes a little bit too long. That gives everybody a chance to just close ground. Jackson Calloward making the stop. Bulldogs might have picked up 3 yards there. It's a little bit of a generous spot this time. Now on the 2nd and 7, it's a straight give. On the left side, 26, Aroldo Mendoza, and not much there for him. Aroldo Mendoza listed 5'5", 161, about the smallest option in that Bulldogs backfield, and didn't have a lot of that secondary push, so it is a gain of 0. Will Peterson, the junior, in the middle for that vaunted Wildcats D, makes that first stop. We've now got 3 receivers to the right side. The solo receiver Marquez up top on the left. Bell gonna look right the whole way. He rolls that way. Tried to throw a comeback, and it's incomplete. Looking for Tway Wilmot on that right sideline. Now it looks like the Bulldogs will have to punt once again. 4th down, almost 7 to go. Coach Marquez has done some more aggressive things, but not in a tight game, not in a Smack and Wolverine crossover, not in the season opener. Absolutely the right call, it appears, to bring the punting unit on. Mitchell Byer ready to punt it away again. Wildcats also go with a hold-up style rush. Much better punt this time. This is heading possibly inside the 20. Not quite, just outside at about the 22-yard line. That's where the Cats are going to start their next drive. Bulldogs picked up a couple of first downs on that drive. They had to work for every single inch of it for what it's worth. But here comes the second look at Mattawan. Couple of short runs, then an incomplete pass on the first series for the Cats. Jake Tungate, the fullback. They went to him on the first play of the game. Now they're going to go toss to a wing off an orbit motion. That's Troy Scarf. Scarf's going to fall forward, first down and more with a huge pile of bodies. That ball's all the way out to the 40. Should be a gain of about 18. Chains are moving big time. In fact, they got to get set there. Everybody's about ready to get the huddle. Always difficult on that sideline to just navigate the mass of bodies when you're the chain crew. Often you see something like the JV team having to manage those, but it looks like you got volunteers here in Mattawan. So they went orbit motion that time with the wing Scarf running behind the fullback. left to right, then he received the toss. They'll go right to left orbit this way, go a pitch, out on an option, pitch to Tungate. He trucks one, still going to be a modest gain, should be 4 to 5 yards. So you've seen multiple looks off of the one orbit motion. Those wings line up off the line of scrimmage and outside of the tackle box. Then you've got to think they can end up all the way on the opposite side of the formation. They could even go as receivers out on the exact opposite side of where they lined up. A lot to think about. Second down, 5 to go. Still scoreless here in Mattawan, running towards 2 minutes. Now officially 2 minutes on that clock. Preston Shackelford back in the pistol. Shackelford pivots, gives it on a second back through, counter. Couple of nice jukes. Connor O'Rourke tiptoes that sideline and rips off another big run. That should be somewhere in the neighborhood of the 35. First play run in opponent territory for anybody. And Connor O'Rourke with the longest run of the day. That is officially spotted at the 35-yard line. Cats just might have a chance to put some points on the board before this quarter's even over. 29.4 points a game allowed from Vicksburg. Their defensive coordinator, Mark Blazer, could not have been happy with that mark from last year. Very proud and a very successful coordinator throughout his career. Typically wouldn't be shocked to see him put up a total that's half that for team scoring defense for a season. Wildcats going to call a timeout before they run that first down play. You got 1 minute and 15 left in the first quarter when we come back here on the Mattawan Wildcats Network.
Hundreds of vehicles. Tapper has them. 3 Pawpaw locations. Tapper has them. Looking for a Chevy or GMC? Tapper has them. Looking for a Ford F-150, Ford Escape, Explorer, or the reimagined Bronco? Tapper has them. 3 Pawpaw locations with new and pre-owned vehicles, expert service, and on-the-spot financing. Tapper, Chevy and GMC, Tapper Ford, and Tapper Budget Cars off Red Arrow Highway. Get to the Pawpaw exit 60 off I-94. Tapper Automotive, proud sponsor of the Mattawan Wildcats.
A longer and a better looking drive, unfurling right before our eyes. Ball's at the 35-yard line of Vicksburg. Mattawan now running plays in opposing territory. They now go 2 receivers out to the right, the 1 fullback, plus a wing all to that right side. It's a give for just about nothing to the fullback. That ball might be loose too. Gonna have to pull everybody off that pile, figure it out. Vicksburg saying they have it, and I think they do. So the best looking drop, but quite often it's Hunter Bell himself, the quarterback, who's got to bring it into the huddle. They start with Johnson, the tight end, motioning left to right, and go a quick give on a power play. And it is Klein with that first down carry, just exactly what you thought. He's going to gain about 6 yards. Hergott and Tungate on the stop. If only you had a step tracker put on Hunter Bell for every trip he makes just to the sideline and to the huddle and back on repeat, it would be eye-opening. Under 30 seconds in the quarter, but the Bulldogs, I believe, do have to run a play. They're going to do so. Klein, a hop steps, now bounces outside to his left, decked just before that marker. Should be a second and very short. Nick DeYoung came up to make that tackle from the safety spot. And that's looking like it's likely to be the last snap of the quarter. The Bulldogs offense clearing the field. As the clock winds, that should take us, we've got 8 seconds or so. Let me not get ahead of myself. But it appears that it's going to take us to the quarter. Was waiting for the official horn to sound. Didn't get one, but scoreless through one quarter. One big fumble recovery from the Bulldogs killed a great-looking Wildcats drive, and we'll have a second quarter here in mere moments on the Mattawan Wildcats Network.
Good luck to the Mattawan Wildcats from everyone at Main Street Pub, Mattawan's local stop for food and fun. For well over 20 years, Main Street Pub has been the official pregame and postgame stop of the Mattawan Wildcats, offering salads, soups, chili, apps, sandwiches, wraps, and of course, their famous gourmet burgers. Order online for pickup or just stop in. We're open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday open till midnight. We have happy hours weekdays from 3 to 6 and late night specials after 8 p.m. Hey, and don't forget, Main Street Pub gift cards make great gifts. Main Street Pub, exit 66, just north of I-94. Go Wildcats!
I'm Matt Davis. I'm a special project manager at Whiteman. So one of the key components of designing education systems really is creating an environment for students to learn. You know, we think about buildings as, you know, places that house people, but they need to be comfortable. People need to have pride in going to the schools. They need to be engaged and inspired to learn in them. And our team really understands how to do that through the design of the building and the space and the grounds and the environment. Whiteman, education is all about people.
Coming out of the quarter break, headed here to quarter number 2. It's Vicksburg, it's Mattawan, it's the Mattawan Wildcats Network. Bulldogs have a first down at their own 45-yard line. Bell with a play-action fake, now rolls right, and that's knocked down right in his face. Get that out of here, that's Nick DeYoung. Couple of back-to-back splash plays. Scratch that, we've actually got Kellen Wilder, the senior defensive end, on the knockdown. Wilder threw that pass away like so much garbage. Bulldogs now got to go back to the well. Their two receivers on the short side of the field are Braylon Valier and Trey Wilmot. Got a tight end to the left as well. They're going to motion Valier left to right. They faked to him. Then Bell carried on the left side and cut down for a short gain of about 4. Fake the jet motion from that slot receiver and then turns into another option where presumably Bell can pitch that ball as well as carry it himself. Should be a gain of 4 yards, and we'll have 3rd and 6 upcoming. Hunter Bell, another 3rd down chance. Rolls right away to his right. Got some good pass pickup from the running back. He throws low, and is it intercepted? It's going to be close. It's one of those where you had to skim it right off of the turf. And they may have dodged a bullet, I believe. Oh my goodness, they're calling it completed. That's one of the tightest windows you'll ever see. It's one of those comeback routes. The ball is low and away right on the sideline paint, and it is somehow caught. That's a fabulous. Especially as the corner was trying to undercut that ball, it certainly could have gone the other way. Not a throw that you want to rely on making, but when you got to have it, you need that big gun and you need the perfect accuracy. That's what Hunter Bell gave you. Bell faked a toss, now kept it himself, and is smacked. That's maybe a yard, but Bell is getting punished every time he goes to carry it. Will Peterson again from the Mike spot. Fought off a block just a little bit too easily and was perfectly in spot to fill. As a former high school and college defensive lineman, I just love run fits. There's something so beautiful about it. Everyone has a gap, and there's a gap for everyone. Bulldogs back in a 2 wide receiver set. They got a couple of tight ends, both offset to the left side. One on the line, one off. They move one tight end to the right. Now they run counter that way. Klein wrapped up, and it's still going to be a 3rd and medium. Should be a 3-yard gain, roughly. Ball is going to be spotted on the 39. No, now they move it just, in fact, ahead of the 40-yard line of Mattawan. Still, it's plays in opponent territory. That's always positive. 3rd and a short 7. Marker sits back around the Wildcats' 34-yard line. Out of field goal range, for now at least, though Vicksburg's had some outstanding kickers in the history of their program. What other tricks are in the bag for a 3rd and medium? Bell goes sort of a deep screen. It's completed several yards beyond the line of scrimmage to the fullback, Johnson. But Johnson maybe got a yard. He'd like to see it throw to the sticks. It's something of a hash or a tunnel screen, but it happened wider than that as well. Kind of similar to a slip screen, just not quite sure. Punt unit comes out again. For what it's worth, this game's been defended brilliantly by everyone. And the Bulldogs came out in a spread punt look. Mattawan did not match. There was going to be somebody uncovered where the Bulldogs could just maybe direct snap it to even the personal protector on the punt and get an easy completion there. I'm going to stay right with you through the break. That was concerning, to say the least. And unsurprisingly, Mattawan called a timeout just for that reason, to get lined up. Vicksburg's been a spread punting team for many years. This isn't a surprise. With that, of course, you can move your wide receivers, quote unquote, around, your gunners. You can move the tight ends and really just have many players, essentially as many as you want, detached from the formation if you still have enough on the line of scrimmage. Mattawan needs to have an idea of how to adjust to that. No matter how you align, no matter how the punt team aligns, rather, you've just got to cover every eligible. They're likely going to come back out in the same punt look off of that timeout. And they do. It's the normal 5 lineman, personal protector, and then essentially shotgun doubles look. Now the punter, Byer, gets one off low and should be good, maybe inside the 10. Solid roll. Cat's going to be backed up for this next drive. Roughly the 8-yard line. Tough place to start a drive, especially with just the way both of these defenses have been playing. Not going to be easy for anybody, and a slobber knocker already unfolding here in Mattawan. Again, it's a SMAC and Wolverine Conference crossover. Two teams that were down a little bit on their luck last year, didn't end up where they probably wanted to be, though Vicksburg did make the playoffs. They were bounced in the first round. Both teams kind of need to get this one started right here in this 2024 season. Now it's a flood look from the Cats. They're going to have Shackelford try and launch this thing. He evades a couple of rushers, now gets decked, and somehow almost completes an intermediate pass. He ended up finding an open receiver after scrambling 8+ seconds maybe in that pocket. Finally incomplete, I believe, in the direction of Brady Hergott. Hergott just had too much time to uncover. You can't ask a defensive back to cover forever. Cats are bringing Patrick Doherty off. and number 80, Connor Vernon, a senior wide receiver, on. Don't blame anybody for taking a play off after how long that first play went, especially if you're out there running a route trying to get open that entire time. Ooh, a flag's going to come out. Maybe illegal motion before they ever got started. Illegal motion or a false start, something in that realm. I believe we just had the back judge signaling false start. So now they're backed up roughly to their own 4-yard line. Doesn't get any easier here. You've got the eligibles minus a tight end all to the right side. And it's a quick give up the middle. They're now really close to that goal line. That's blown up for a big loss. Vicksburg, of course, trying to sell the safety, but with forward progress, not going to be quite there. This is best case scenario, a third down from your own 2-yard line. Suboptimal for performance. At the 2-yard line, this should be 3rd and 15 plus. You got to just survive this. Don't commit a penalty. Likely a quick running play. I don't even know that you'd risk throwing a pass and getting something like a holding in the end zone. The tight end still to the right side. The wing started in that orbit motion, now goes back and sets up where he had aligned. And it looks like we've got another timeout coming before this third down snap. Timeout from the Wildcats again. It's called at 7:06 of the second quarter, and they have a daunting, to say the least, third down upcoming.
Hi, this is Jenna Pageon of Bud Distributing, your Anheuser-Busch wholesaler for all of Berrien and Cass counties since 1970, and proud of the connection with the businesses and community. Whether gathering with family and friends or just getting together after the game, we're distributing a great portfolio of products, not to mention partnering with several businesses that produce their products right here in our local community. So here's to another successful season from your family at Bud Distributing.
Are you looking to stand out from the crowd? Net Designs has the skills and creativity to effectively set your business or organization apart from the competition. With 30 years of experience, Net Designs provides professional, eye-catching websites that increase your credibility and give your clients a greater understanding of your brand. We provide content writing, social media support, e-commerce with shopping and payment integration, and can brand your business with logos and graphics. From mom and pop shops to big business, Net Designs is ready for your next website project. Check us out at netdesignsonline.com.
Now ready for that third and very long in the Wildcats end zone. They go play fake. Now they want to take a shot on a deep post. It's bobbled a couple of times, almost caught by O'Rourke. And he was maybe the third guy to touch it. Bulldogs had a DB inside of that. They had a DB over top of it, and neither going to come up with the interception. Mattawan will live at least to punt it away, but this does not get any easier. Vicksburg should have this ball well inside midfield. They've got a 2-returner look on the punt return team, one of which is aligning at the 35. That is brutal. Shackelford again, the punter. Bulldogs send a little bit more pressure this time. They might have altered this one. This won't clear the 35. Maybe the 32-yard line where the Bulldogs offense gets to take over. And now Vicksburg might stick to rushing those punts as they got a good result there. Bulldogs offense. Wow, they're giving them the 31. Maybe 31 and a half, but to make a stop here with 6 minutes and 48 seconds, especially to keep them fully off the board, would be unspeakably huge for this Mattawan defense. Bell just had a little chat with Marquez, now brings in this play again. Again, year 17 for Coach Marquez. Winning record almost every single year, not this past year, but has been in the playoffs every year since the fall of 2018. Hunter Bell wants a deep drop, and to take a shot, goes with a comeback and a little dangerous again. It's really tight coverage from Patrick Doherty. Doherty, among other defensive backs, continue to look to undercut, and if Bell's going to keep slinging it, especially down and away, they could come up with one of those, take it back a long way. You love a quarterback that's not afraid to let it rip, but there's always danger to the short and intermediate throws that people think are getting it out and protecting your quarterback. Double tight end look to the left side for the Bulldogs. They're going to hand off that way, following those tight ends. And not a lot of push on that second down. Should be a gain of 2. Klein's pulled out of the pile. Zach Klein already picking up some color on the helmet, some color on the uniform, involved on just about every snap out there. It's a tough assignment, especially as he goes both ways. Vicksburg not as deep as occasionally they've been in the past. A couple of key injuries, reasons for that, especially along their offensive line. Klein's going to be the running back. It's a 3rd and 9 almost. Really brutal spot on the second down play. Bell, another straight drop back. They go switch releases. Bell pump fakes one, made him miss. Luke Deal trying to throw a block out front from the left tackle spot, and Bell is knocked out of bounds well short. It's one of those where Bell wasn't really supposed to roll out to the left there, and that left tackle never expects him to be never expects that quarterback to end up outside of him. So Deal kind of had to turn around, make sure he doesn't block in the back or hold. And it looks like they might keep that spot. Thought surely they were going to give Bell a couple of yards on the run, but they say he's knocked out. Still, it appears at the 30-yard line. 4th and 9, and the Bulldogs offense says, we're here. Just over 5 minutes on the clock. Bulldogs offense with a 4th and 9 coming. Scoreless, by the way, here in Mattawan for the first half. I think Coach Marquez is looking at the play clock, staring it down, and he's going to call timeout here before the 4th down. That's exactly what we get. Bell wasn't in the huddle, so you had to have a feeling that was coming. Vicksburg burns another timeout here. And again, we'll be with you right through the break. Clock shows 5 minutes, 17 seconds here in the second quarter. No score. It's the Mattawan Wildcats and the Vicksburg Bulldogs here for the 2024 season opener. This is the deepest penetration that you've seen by an offense so far. That spot, again, is the opposing 30. But the Bulldogs made no move as if they were going to bring a kicking unit on, and I don't know that that's surprising. Field goal would be something in the neighborhood of 47 yards from here. You can certainly go for it. If you did punt, you might not gain a lot in the field position battle. The whole offensive huddle is still out there meeting with Coach Marquez. It appears they're going for this thing on the 4th and 9. Defense is all set and ready to go. It's a base 3-4 scheme that Coach Schultz brought in this year. You saw largely a 5-2 scheme last year with 5 down linemen, just 2 linebackers. Now they walk one of those offensive linebackers out with 3 receivers to the right side. Anthony Marquez split out as the solo receiver to the left. Could expect Bell to go to him and throw up a jump ball. 4th and 9, Bell gonna look to Marquez all the way on a fade to the end zone. It's tipped and out of the hands of Marquez and incomplete. But that is as good as you can throw that ball. It was on the goal line. It was way up high where that 6'5" Marquez has a chance at it. And in the end, it's broken up just at the very end. The defense holds on that 4th down. That ball is turned over on downs. And here come the Cats. even after that stop, they don't get great field position. They should be roughly at their own 30, is where the ball had been spotted for Vicksburg. Still, a stop of any kind in a game that tight, in your own territory, nearing the red zone, still should hold a lot of weight. Back in a double wing look with a fullback. They toss it to a wing off an orbit motion. This time it's Connor O'Rourke. O'Rourke with one real nice stiff arm to slip him for about 7 yards. And the most effective plays that they've been running so far have been largely the orbit motions, those wings coming from near the line of scrimmage to behind the fullback and then flip it out to him. Or other looks off of that with that same motion. Preston Shackelford not really been forced to sling it at all yet so far, and that's ideal. If you can mash and have all of the deception that this offense typically brings about, why change it? Two receivers to the right with the two wings plus the fullback. Now they go speed option. The pitch is a little bit wide. That ball is loose for a moment. It's covered up by Tungate, but he had to take a loss for it. It's the right play to fall on that ball and not try and scoop it and keep running. And yet, might be a loss of 3. 3rd down 6 coming up. It still hurts. And I don't know that the accuracy of the pitch was bad from Shackelford. Likely just one of those that you try to rush it as a quarterback first, and then as the running back trying to receive the pitch, maybe you're looking upfield thinking, am I going to get smacked right after I touch this? Bulldogs with one high safety. Something you'll see from them quite often. A give up the gut on the 3rd and 6, and it's perfect. I love an offensive coordinator willing to run a power, a trap, that kind of inside run play. That's hitting in the A gaps on a 3rd and 6. That's poetry. And of course, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Really doesn't have to be a complicated game. It's exactly the way that I would call the game if I were an offensive coordinator. Nobody ever asks me that. Curious. Cats on the march. It's on their 42-yard line, nearing midfield. The pivot, now that same toss out to O'Rourke. And just past the original line of scrimmage. He's going to be cut down out there by Storm Schrader for the Bulldogs. Schrader goes 5'10", 195. Michael Johnson for Vicksburg, as we mentioned, the fullback goes 5'7", 265. Also finds his way onto the field at that will linebacker spot. That is intimidating as well. That kind of frame coming downhill, blowing up offensive linemen, just an absolute wrecking ball. In addition to all his offensive contributions, mostly to the blocking game. All the eligibles minus the tight end lined up to the left. Been a really good indication that they're going that direction. And it is that way again with a quick little dive to the fullback. Tungate gains minimal yardage. Troy Scarf this time is the receiver who's checking in. He taps out Doherty. Shackelford now bringing the play into the huddle. They've got a 3rd down and 7 yards to go. Clock reads 1:35 here in the 2nd quarter. We're heading towards possibly a scoreless first half. Wildcats got a little bit of time and should have one timeout left to try and get it in range. Now all the eligibles to the right with the two receivers that way. Shackelford looking that way the whole time. He's holding it. Now finally dumps one, and from the other side of the field hits a check down for the first. It's caught plus the out of bounds. That is nothing but good news. Moves that ball up to the Vicksburg 45. now some of the better field position for the Cats. Clock shows 1:05, and looks like we're pausing for a quick clock issue. Try and get it started. Resetting it now to 1 minute 12 seconds.
Clock malfunction has been fixed. We are ready to roll. First and 10 for Mattawan from the Bulldog 45-yard line.
Clock's ready to run. 1 minute 12 seconds. 45-yard line. Mattawan with the possession, driving on the Bulldogs. And a broken play here. Shackelford just trying to improvise. He's going to get decked after using up a ton of clock. It looked like he wanted to run speed option, but nobody was there to receive the pitch. And if there was supposed to be a dive, nobody was there for the dive either. That is sort of the antithesis of the option. Nobody was ready for the option. 45 seconds in the half. Cats are going to have to make something happen quick if they're going to get any points out of this. A pivot back to the right after a fake to the left. Pass right along the sideline, complete and out of bounds. With 33 seconds, that's exactly the kind of play you need, but you're going to start thinking about field goal range with Kai Jensen, your soccer-style kicker and soccer player, right about now. What is his effective range? How much yardage do we need to get there? And can we do that with any time and this one timeout remaining? Good news is you'll find out right now. It's a 3rd and 2, so you also have to consider picking up the first down. You would ideally love to do this here and not try the field goal of 50-plus yards. Don't always get what you want, but let's find out. On the 3rd down and 2 play, whistle right before the snap and a flag coming out. That could be killer. Presumably a false start. Yes, it is. Now the Wildcats got a 3rd and 7, and it gets even more complicated. Can you complete a pass in bounds? If you do, you've got to pick up a lot of yardage in order to maybe get up there and spike it or call that last time out. Now we'll find out the 3rd and 7 play coming. Shackelford on a play action, wants to take a shot, looking for the end zone. Caught! In the bucket over the shoulder. Shackelford to Connor O'Rourke and strike up the band. A long, beautiful, arcing bomb. I hope you had not fallen asleep. It did take us until 25 seconds from the half, but we got a score.
25 seconds left in the half.
Bulldogs have got to be a little bit heated that they held up for so well, so long. And I don't know that we see a kicker heading out for this point after try. It looks like the Cats are going to be going for 2. Got the normal offensive huddle out there. And the Bulldogs with their base defense. They're right back to a flex bone look. Got a receiver tight to the right, got the couple of wings plus the tight end. It's a pivot. They go a counter back to a wing, and that is sniffed out big time. Luke Deal just killed that play before it ever started. Penetration is so huge from the defensive line, especially to get it immediately on slower developing run plays like a counter. A lot of credit there to the Bulldogs' Luke Deal swallowing that thing. Vicksburg's been known to do helmet stickers for big plays such as tackles for loss, sacks, touchdowns, total tackles, and that kind of thing. Luke Deal just absolutely earned himself a sticker. Score stays 6-0. Not to take anything away, because that was a fabulous deep ball from Shackelford to Connor O'Rourke. Cats will be ready to kick off in a moment with Kai Jensen. Bulldogs look like they're going to stick in the 2-returner look. Braden Valier and Aroldo Mendoza. Those are your 2 deep men. And when Vicksburg receives this ball, by the time they down it, you're only going to be looking at 20 seconds or so, not much to do anything with. And Coach Marquez, in all likelihood, going to take the knee. Jensen off the tee. Kicks a little bit lower, fielded at the 5-yard line. Here comes Valier. And a great ankle pick tackle. That would not have looked out of place at all on the wrestling mat. 22, Jackson Soldano cuts that return down at the 25-yard line. That's where the Bulldogs' drive is going to start. And as I pontificated, that's roughly about where it's going to end, assuming that they decide to take the knee here. Vicksburg's been known to take that knee out of shotgun, typically when they do the victory formation or any time that they're taking a knee. We'll see if that's what they elect to do. But they're coming out in their normal offensive sets first, it appears. You got one tight end to the left, the off-ball tight end Johnson to the right. Maybe run one run play, couldn't hurt. They're going to run behind Johnson, heading to the left side. Klein picks up 4, and I expect this to be the last snap. The body language suggests that is likely. Again, wish we would get the official horn just to hear it on the crowd mic. I love that sound. Nonetheless, Mattawan strikes first. It was the deep bomb on the 3rd and 7 play from Preston Shackelford to Connor O'Rourke. The one and only deep passing play we've seen, and it was enough to put the Cats up 6-0 at the half. Speaking of the half, it's now time for that. You're going to hear This Week in High School Sports with John Ross. You're going to hear a little bit more from our sponsors, from the MHSAA, and then we'll be back for coverage of half number 2. I'm Tanner White here with the Mattawan Wildcats Network, and thanks so much for joining us tonight for the first half. Cats lead 6-0, head into half number 2.
And now, This Week in High School Sports, presented by Boss Services, raising the standard in heating, cooling, water heaters, duct cleaning, and 24-hour.
Whether gathering with family and friends or just getting together after the game, we're distributing a great portfolio of products, not to mention partnering with several businesses that produce their products right here in our local community. So here's to another successful season from your family at Bud Distributing.
Are you looking to stand out from the crowd? Net Designs has the skills and creativity to effectively set your business or organization apart from the competition. With 30 years of experience, Net Designs provides professional, eye-catching websites that increase your credibility and give your clients a greater understanding of your brand. We provide content writing, social media support, e-commerce with shopping and payment integration, and can brand your business with logos and graphics. From mom and pop shops to big business, Net Designs is ready for your next website project. Check us out at netdesignsonline.com.
I'm Matt Davis. I'm a special project manager at Whiteman. So one of the key components of designing education systems really is creating an environment for students to learn. You know, we think about buildings as, places that house people, but they need to be comfortable. People need to have pride in going to the schools. They need to be engaged and inspired to learn in them. And our team really understands how to do that through the design of the building and the space and the grounds and the environment. Whiteman, education is all about people.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Michigan for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Looking for a score, a schedule, a story? MHSAA.com has you covered. Our newly redesigned website has everything you need to follow high school sports in Michigan. And it's optimized for mobile use. Fans can submit scores on a Friday night, check playoff pairings and game times, or read about the student athletes from your community. Your first stop is MHSAA.com. Connect with us online and get everything you need all in one place.
Hello, my name is Susanna Deno, and I'm a civil engineer in the transportation sector at Whiteman. I've been part of the Whiteman family for over 18 years. We are focused on our cultural values: fun and happy, creative and innovative, passionate, accountable and supportive, family-oriented, and servant-hearted. These values are applied to our everyday work that we do for our clients and the community support that we participate in alongside of our clients. Whiteman, it's all about people.
Folks, we just want to bring you a little bit of the halftime performance here of that Mattawan Marching Band. After the fabulous job that they did with the national anthem, they let this run for a little while. Just wanted to remind you that we are at halftime, and it is a 6-0 lead after the Preston Shackelford 41-yard bomb to Connor O'Rourke. That was the one scoring play of the first half. Bulldogs had a couple of drives deep in opponent territory. They had one fumble recovered by the Bulldogs as well. In the end, their offense is blanked, and Mattawan gets on the board with the one big pass play. Now again, we'll just let you enjoy for a moment the final couple moments of the marching band, and then be just about ready to go for the second half as they clear the field. Again, Tanner White with the Mattawan Wildcats Network. Looks like that's all they have. About 3 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock. And then we'll be ready to get underway in half number 2. The stats from the first half see Troy Scarf as the leading rusher. Scarf with 2 carries for 26 yards, believe it or not, but he popped that one 18-yarder. Connor O'Rourke, 2 carries for 22 yards. For Jake Tungate, been tough to get going as the fullback primarily. 5 carries, only 4 yards, and a long of 5 yards. Shackelford, 2 out of 4 passing. Again, the one that mattered was the 41-yard bomb to O'Rourke. Take a quick look at the Bulldogs stats as well. Their leading rusher is Zachary Klein, 7 carries for 27. He's had to grind it out, no doubt about it. Still though, longest run of 26. Sorry, misread that. The longest run actually for Klein is 8. And the Bulldogs' longest rush overall for the night is 9 yards. They're 4 out of 9 passing, only 13 yards, believe it or not. It's kind of shocking for Tom Marquet's coached offense. They are a spread team, a lot of talented receivers everywhere, a lot of guys that will touch the ball. They love to spread it around, of course, as you might imagine with the spread principles. Just haven't done enough yet on the offensive side. Had some good drives going, but got to sustain them, figure out a way. Maybe it's a couple of field goals even, if that'll take you back into this game. Whatever works. Bulldogs did receive the opening kickoff as well, so it's not going to get any easier for them here in the second half as the Cats will start the second half with the ball. Got about a minute and a half now, reading on that warm-up clock. Again, I'm Tanner White here on the Mattawan Wildcats Network, filling in for Lance Caparosi for now. Next week, likely will be with Portage Northern, and absolutely thrilled. The Huskies are actually taking on Orchard Lake St. Mary's right now. If we can find a score on that game at some point and let you know, we absolutely will. Unfortunately, weren't able to bring our networks to that one, but still, that should be a fabulous matchup and a long travel back no matter which way you cut it. Last couple moments of warm-ups, and then we'll be underway for half number 2. 6-0 game, Mattawan over Vicksburg here at home for the 2024 fall season opener. Got a chance to talk with one injured member of the Bulldogs. It was offensive and defensive lineman Drake Henderson. He's a junior, goes 6'3", 262, and is a piece that factored into the equation before getting injured just before the season opener. Not going to be available likely for this season. But my thanks to Drake for giving me some insights, talking a little bit about his Bulldogs, changes on the coaching staff, and things of that nature. If you weren't with us in the first half, we told you about Vicksburg head coach Tom Marquez. This is year 17 for Marquez in the Berg. Career record 82-73. This is a current streak of 6 years in a row making the playoffs. He expects to be there every single year, even when starting with very tough Division II competition, as they have now the past 3 seasons. They lost to Portage Northern twice in back-to-back years in 22 and 23. And it's a proud Mattawan team, even if they weren't exactly where they wanted to be last season with that 3-6 record. Good news is every season is just such a different opportunity. It's so new, and there's turnover every single year, even at the high school level. Here at 24-898 McGillen Ave in Mattawan, we are nearing the start of the second half. They put about 2 minutes back on after beginning warm-ups. We mentioned how Mattawan was a very strong home team last year, going 3-1 at home. Their longest win streak was just 2. That was Battle Creek Central and Kalamazoo Central at home. And then the final 3 of the season, they dropped all 3 of those. It was St. Joe, Lakeview, and Portage Northern. Well, 2 of those teams did go to the playoffs in St. Joe and Northern. Their biggest win of the season last year was that Battle Creek Central game. That was home, 49-7, a drubbing, shellacking of the Bearcats. And their biggest loss, unsurprisingly, was at Portage Northern. That's a tough place to play in the first place with Husky Stadium. Add on to the fact that that is just a D1 talent factory now. Portage Northern absolutely every single year puts out fabulous high school players, and most of them turn into good college players. I've gotten to really have a bit of a rapport built with their head coach, Coach Twitchell. And Kurt Twitchell has come in at the same time as I did in 2022 to that team and has had nothing but success. A 7-2 and then an 8-1 regular season in his first 2 years. As we mentioned, those 2 teams will meet here, Mattawan and Portage Northern. That's on September 13th, 2 weeks from now at 7 p.m. That will be an absolutely fantastic one, and hopefully I'll be covering that for you on the Portage Northern side. Just moments here from the second half kickoff between the Vicksburg Bulldogs and your Mattawan Wildcats. We'd be remiss if we did not again mention Mattawan's new head coach, Jerry Schultz. Coach Schultz from a powerhouse, smaller program at Centerville, but an undefeated Division VIII champion back in 2020. He went 11-0, and that team allowed the most ridiculous 2.6 points a game for the entire season that year. He had a 21-12 overall record, simply knows how to win. The 3-4 defense he installed, this flex bone and triple option kind of style he installed, and really has taken the program, run with it already. Looking strong. We'd love to see a couple of more touchdowns, but a score of any kind on your first possession would feel quite nice. And they're ready to get that possession underway as well. They're going to start with just the one returner deep. And that is Troy Scarf, the deep man. We're ready to return the Bulldogs kick. Ball is on the right hash at the 40-yard line, and Mitchell Byer handles the punting as well as the kickoff duties. Correction, that's actually O'Rourke deep for the Cats. Up with the right hand, now here comes that kick. Byers' kick drifting just outside of that G for the goal line, and a touchback. Ball originally hit about the 8 or 9 yard line, but had plenty of gas. No reason to give up a big return to start and let them get something cheap. In sort of the coach's lingo, we call this P in 10, meaning possession in 10, that very first play of the possession after something like a turnover or a kickoff. So the P in 10 snap coming in a moment. Back in that flex bone, they got two receivers out right. Fullback is still Tungate. They're going to start with a fake to him and then a pull from Shackelford, and he is knocked down, should be 5 yards. And now you're seeing Shackelford not quite riding that mesh point as long. He's not keeping the ball in the hands of the running back as long, pulling it a little bit more decisively. It can work to your advantage. Like I said, it creates a little bit more space. The longer that you hold on to that ball, the longer that you really try and sell that fake, sometimes everybody's collapsed, and one defensive lineman can really play both the quarterback and the dive player. It's the last thing you want. Same formation here for the second down snap. Same play, this time with the ball given and going nowhere. Bulldogs front seven still continues blowing up Tungate, just can't get it going. Luke Deal credited with a stop again. It's going to be 3rd down and 3. Luke Deal rather credited with the stop for the Bulldogs. Those 3 down linemen of Brody, Glenn, Deal, and the big man in the middle, Daniels, been getting tons of push. They're going to need it here as it's a toss out on the right side with a 1st down and more. Wildcats, Troy Scarf. Scarf with just about all of the long carries of the day for the Cats. They'll give him just the 40. Brady Hergott bringing in the play from the sideline, it appears. Right about that midfield stripe. Stopping 1 or 2 of the choices on that option. Vicksburg's been able to do it, but stopping all of them, almost every time they're going for it now, they're ripping off chunks. You got a tired defense. You got a number of players playing both ways. That's the formula. You pass to score and run to win. The 2 receivers both head out to the right side again. Back in that flex bone. That's so killer. Dive for the fullback. And met for a stuff again from Luke Deal. Truly a dominant defensive line game Luke Deal's been playing. Hard to truly get noticed. I shouldn't say that. Hard to truly stand out. And yet Luke Deal in on nearly every stop while facing double teams. Spectacular. Coach Deal at home. Hope you're proud. Hope you're with us as well, if we're lucky. Same formation now, but the 2nd and 10 play coming. And on the same play, it's a big jump cut. And Tungate gets loose for maybe the first time on a dive all night long. Gains 12 yards. And it can be that simple. You can have the exact same look on back-to-back run plays, but one jump cut right in the hole and one defender you made miss, that's sometimes all the space you need. First down 10. This should be the last snap, barring an incomplete pass, of the 3rd quarter. Another long drive, this over 5 minutes. On the first down 10 again with orbit motion. They toss it out on the wing. O'Rourke got some more room to run, and he's falling forward for another first down on the first down. That was Scarf on the carry. From the orbit motion, the wings have been deadly. Grant Daniels, the big hoss, made that stop 10+ yards from the line of scrimmage. Got to respect that. And that should be the last snap of the 3rd quarter. The Cats got 12 more minutes to try and put this game away at home against these Vicksburg Bulldogs. Find out if they can do it in the 4th quarter. Coming up here on the Mattawan Wildcats Network.
Hundreds of vehicles. Tapper has them. 3 Pawpaw locations. Tapper has them. Looking for a Chevy or GMC? Tapper has them. Looking for a Ford F-150, Ford Escape, Explorer, or the reimagined Bronco? Tapper has them. 3 Pawpaw locations with new and pre-owned vehicles, expert service, and on-the-spot financing. Tapper, Chevy and GMC, Tapper Ford, and Tapper Budget Cars off Red Arrow Highway. Get to the Pawpaw exit 60 off I-94. Tapper Automotive, proud sponsor of the Mattawan Wildcats.
Hello, my name is...
Somewhere, obviously a turnover. Gonna need something somehow and gonna need it quickly. Shackelford keeps now the pitch a little late this time and might be going for a loss. It is. Sometimes as that pitch man, you've just got to take it all the way to the sideline, string it out. O'Rourke tried to cut back inside with not a lot of blocking there and lost a couple. Luke Deal, another stop. Fantastic. Unbelievable what he's been able to do. Second and goal, 9-yard line. 182 yards rushing for the team for the Cats at the start of this drive. They've really piled on, too. The late toss this time for Scarf should be inside the 5. Still got a ways to go as it's going to be a 3rd down coming up. And then decision time. Do you feel confident in Kai Jensen, your soccer-style kicker, to come in, put one through the uprights? It's 12-0 right now. You could add 3 points, but that still means it's a 2-possession game. I would not be shocked at all to see a 4th down try should they get stopped here on the 3rd and 5. The 3rd and goal, rather, it appears from the 5, roughly. Just check the scoreboard. We do have a goal to go. On the 3rd and goal, Shackelford wants to go right back to what got him there. It's up the gut with the fullback, Tungate, touchdown. 18-0. Now don't even have to worry about it. Not playing scenarios. And I still don't think we see any move for a kicker. They're pedal to the metal one more time. 0 for 2 so far with the 2 points. Bringing the play in now is 17, Cam McIntyre. McIntyre comes out of the huddle now. He's going to be the wide receiver furthest to the right. This ball is on the left hash for the 2-point play. Back in that flex bone. Couple of wings, a fullback, couple receivers. What more can we say? Go orbit motion. They fake that way to the left. Now Shackelford tried to throw back to the right and got dumped. Pass came out just in time, most likely, but it was incomplete anyway. Spiked into the ground. Bulldogs strung it all the way out and had perfect contain. So they'll come up empty one more time. Still, the silver lining, a long, and I mean long touchdown drive, nearly 8 minutes. 18-0 is their lead, and the Bulldogs gonna need a whole lot in not a lot of time. As we mentioned, you're still probably number those 1 through 5, 1 being typically the most, the closest to the ball. Ball's fielded in the end zone again, and again, touchback. And I still don't think Valier is signaling these. He should have that opportunity when he fields that ball if he wants to take it out of the end zone, but nonetheless, another drive's going to start at just the 20-yard line. And a kick return is that kind of play that could flip the script of a game really fast. In fact, Vicksburg had Xavier Wadley last year return a kickoff for a touchdown in that game against Portage Northern. Now, was that game nearly as close? No, it was 51-14. Yet at the time, it gave the game a very different feel. First and 10, Bulldogs. But backed up and way down on that scoreboard, 18-0. And they're going to start with a quick power play for Klein. It's not a bad run, 3 to 4 yards on first down, but you don't have time to do much more of that. Not a whole lot of time left indeed, and it'll start feeling like less and less. On the 2nd down and 7, it's another difficulty of having the Bulldogs bring that play all the way in with Bell, the quarterback, from the sideline. That just eats into your play clock. Gun double set with the tight end Johnson on the right side. Now motions to the left, and they will go pitch that way. It's blown up big time and should be a loss. Wildcats say, hey, we've seen enough of this. 4th, maybe the 5th time Bulldogs have tried to run that. And again, with such a massively sized tight end as Michael Johnson, he's so often an indicator of where that ball is going to go. At some point, you might be better off using him as a decoy. It's a 3rd down, maybe 6 to 7 to go. Clock running around 8 minutes. Long, deep drop, 5-step drop, and lots of space on a completion. This is going to be a 1st down and more, short of the 40-yard line, but this helps. Finally getting the ball moving a little bit. Gage Scheidel hauled that one in. Scheidel on that dig route or a medium in, and then they had a deep post over the top of it that created plenty of room for him. 7 minutes, 45 seconds, though. Clock already feels pretty oppressive. Bulldogs still with the fullback Johnson on the field. Kind of surprised by that. Thought we'd see strictly 4 wide receiver sets. As they give for Klein, he's met in the backfield for a loss. And Scarf just scarfed him up. Understandable, these guys are hungry. When you eat that pregame meal sometimes, let's say 3 p.m., 4 p.m. maybe, and then you play at 7, it that game's not done until, almost 10 o'clock at night, you've gone a real long time without eating. Something I think not enough people talk about is hunger on game day. It's absolutely real. That's why I do think that you should be having some snacks at halftime, some quick carbs, that kind of thing. Bulldogs now in a gun doubles look, 2-by-2. Gonna have to start launching this soon. And another completion on a similar looking concept for Scheidel. This one's a little bit short of a first down though. Scheidel just sits down in the open space. It's zone defense. That's exactly what you're coached to do. Don't run yourself into where a guy already is. 6:20 to go, but the Bulldogs are on a good drive. They're just shy of midfield. They've got the ball on their own 48-yard line. Can Hunter Bell play a little game of hats and rabbits? Back in the gun doubles look. They throw quickly to the flat, and as Klein was heading out there to set a block, he actually knocks down the receiver, Scheidel. That is bizarre. And you would almost like to credit Klein with a tackle defensively for that, but it's a shame. It kills that play with just enough yardage for the first down. That is the good part, and they're across midfield. But really, you've got to start launching this ball very soon. Bulldogs have trips to the right. Marquez, the solo receiver, to the left. We've seen plenty of this. Could they be thinking taking a shot right now for the end zone? Would not be shocked. It's a really deep drop from Bell. Now he's going to pull it and get 2 or 3. As he's trying to throw this thing all the way to the end zone, it just doesn't uncover, and he doesn't have enough time to keep holding it. Second down, about 6, but not nearly enough time to do much of that. Now you have to think that the Bulldogs will immediately, if they should score a touchdown on this possession, go for that onside kick. And yet, you'd still probably need to recover that one, score, and recover another. Maybe at some point you can just use your timeouts defensively and try and get a stop that way, but they haven't been consistently able to get stops in this second half in the run game. Tough to say. Got a quick whistle, wondering if they're talking perhaps about spot of the ball. Had an official's timeout for a couple of moments. This is good for Vicksburg, in fact. Plays to their advantage as they get a couple moments to talk about what they were going to do with the clock stopped. Now, 4 minutes, 47 seconds. Hunter Bell with a way deep drop. Make it 7 steps. Short arms it a little bit and incomplete. Just about every pass headed towards the left side of the field. And that's the short side right now, as that ball is on the left hash. Doesn't give you a ton of room to work with. Makes Bell have to be a little bit more accurate. That last pass, I believe, intended for McGuire Bowles for the Bulldogs. And couldn't scoop it off the turf. It's a 3rd down and 7 to go. Hunter Bell, last go around, the senior quarterback with the Bulldogs. Always was going to be a tough matchup coming up here to Division II, playing SMAC opponents in the first week. It's a tough option for them. Bell got decked as that throw came out, and in the flat, it's incomplete. He had Grant Daniels tossed on his backside in front of him. Bell almost stumbled over him. Daniels from that guard spot gave some ground and ended up making it a more difficult throw. As you mentioned, Bell's getting hit as he lets that go and was never going to be on target. 4th down for all but the game here if the Wildcats can hold. 4 minutes, 38 seconds. Bulldogs back in a gun doubles look. Ball near the left hash. Bell wants one more deep drop. Try to get it out quick. It's tipped and incomplete. Brody Hergott once more for good measure, breaks up a pass. That looks like it's going to be enough. Wildcats have 4 minutes, 33 seconds, and in fact, they've got a member down around their own 40-yard line on their close hash. Wondering if we're going to see an injury stoppage. We haven't had this signal yet. Now, finally, we do. As he's helped up, that is Connor O'Rourke. O'Rourke's damage has been done, though, scoring the touchdowns. One through the air, one on the triple option, and just getting stretched out a little bit by the trainers on the sideline now. As O'Rourke comes off, it looks like Nick Paulsick is replacing him for now. Paulsick will be the receiver closest to that Mattawan sideline. Back in this deadly flex bone. The proof of concept tonight of Coach Schultz's offense has been undeniable. And this might be out the gate on the triple option. The pitch to Doherty went for a gash play. Trey Wilmot on the stop for the Bulldogs, but that one hurts. A first down, they ruled that he stayed inbounds, so this next snap would come with likely less than 4 minutes in regulation. 18-0 is the Wildcats lead. This was a Vicksburg team that, again, has stood toe-to-toe with Portage Northern before. Back on the triple option. Nice little shimmy shake from Shackelford as he kept it himself this time and got a couple. Hasn't had much chance to get loose as a runner, but the overall running of the triple option been absolutely idyllic. Preston Shackelford. Will he call his own number a couple more times? Maybe one more toss on a triple option. Maybe just one more straight toss to a wing. They've broken plenty of big plays with that. Brody Hergott's the slot receiver. As we mentioned, Paulsick, the wide receiver to the left. Give for a fullback. Stacked up pretty well this time for the Bulldogs, but you've got to get a turnover nigh on immediately. Clock's under 3 minutes. Tungate on that last carry. He'd been breaking off a big run on just about every one of those carries before that in the entire second half. Again, it took him a while to get going. In the first half, not a lot there, and now rolled. Connor O'Rourke, if you ask me, already cemented my very unofficial player of the game. Third down 7 from the Bulldogs 35. It's another toss to a wing, back for Troy Scarf. Slips a couple of tackles. Had room down that sideline. Bulldogs eventually bring him down inside the 25. There is a flag not too far from the original line of scrimmage, and it's back at the 32-yard line. This could be interesting. If this comes back, you might at least give Vicksburg another possession. Then maybe they start calling timeouts and some weird things happen. The most critical number, though, there's 2 minutes, 11 seconds on the clock here, no matter how they enforce this penalty. And it does look like the run play is coming back. They're walking it back. To our white hats, I want to say thank you, all of these officials. I think you've done a wonderful job, especially considering the conditions. Didn't even mention, but we were about 85 degrees at kickoff. And everybody's really handled it pretty well, all things considered. A couple of the cramping issues, of course, related. But that's just the risk that you run the first week or two in Michigan. Then, of course, by the time you get to the playoffs, you're practicing outside in the snow every day and shivering. but high school football, Michigan, oh, what more could you ask for? It's like you get all 4 seasons in one. 3rd and 12 after the holding, marked it way back, and get about half of that yardage back. That doesn't hurt. On another give for the fullback, Tungate. Next snap won't be much beyond a minute left. We'll see if they elect to punt, call a timeout here and think about it, or even just go for it. Those are all options in play here. It's a 4th and 8. And offense is still out there. Same flex bone. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They started the wing in motion, then returned. And a flag came out before the snap as well. We'll see what they want to do and who it's enforced on. And it seems like timeout before that penalty. That's exactly what it is. It was Patrick Doherty, the wing, who originally was going to motion. And now we'll take one last break and be back with you for the final 59 seconds or so here on the Mattawan Wildcats Network.
Hello, my name is Susanna Deno, and I'm a civil engineer in the transportation sector at Whiteman. I've been part of the Whiteman family for over 18 years. We are focused on our cultural values: fun and happy, creative and innovative, passionate, accountable and supportive, family-oriented, and servant-hearted. These values are applied to our everyday work that we do for our clients and the community support that we participate in alongside of our clients. Whiteman, it's all about people.
So no matter how you slice it, a couple more snaps will do it. Here's a 4th and about 8 yards. Likely one more snap for this Wildcats offense. It's a fake to the left, a play fake. Now Shackelford wants to throw all the way to the end zone, back to the right, and he's got a man with the touch. Is it caught? Incomplete at the last moment, but one of the spectacular throws you'll see in the high school ranks. On the money for Hergot, even with double coverage. Was looking to add one more to that total. Just came up a little bit long and off of the fingertips. I think Hergot even had it controlled maybe until he hit the ground. Bulldogs get this possession back with 47 seconds. Perhaps a chance to do something for pride, but that's about it. Bulldogs just made a change on the offensive line. Cameron Kessler, the sophomore, stepping in at tackle, 6'2", 231. No reason to not get some other guys some experience, and wouldn't be surprised if they run the ball here on the P and 10 play. Again, the 1st and 10, it's a give. It was actually from the backup quarterback, Mitchell Byer, as well. Handled the kicking and punting duties, and here on a handoff, Bulldogs gain a yard or 2 with Aroldo Mendoza. One more snap from scrimmage should do it. Clock reads 18 seconds and counting. Bulldogs should have one snap from scrimmage. Maybe they throw an incomplete pass. I wouldn't expect it, but you never know. Under 10 seconds. 2nd down, 8 for the Bulldogs offense. It's one more quick give for Mendoza. Mendoza's actually got a lot of room there on that left side. He's breaking one down the sideline, and he's out of bounds. The clock likely going to run out anyway. Yes, it does. It's quite a long carry there. 25-plus yards on that final play. Oh, with a flag out as well. That's something you hate to see, but you hope they wave that off. No need to enforce it and run an untimed down. Hopefully. I think the officiating crew is still talking amongst themselves, but the teams are ready to line up for handshakes. And Hunter Bell is leading the Vicksburg parade out there right now. So yes, they're waving that final flag off. No worries. Final score, 18-0. These Mattawan Wildcats pitch a shutout, a complete game shutout, if you will. Doing it on offense, defense, and special teams. The kicking and punting units, solid. The tackling on defense, fantastic. The coverage, absolutely suffocating. Holding Hunter Bell and on paper, talented and athletic Bulldogs offense to a donut. 0. And Mattawan able to storm the field with a student section of spectacular size. I rarely get to witness these, but I got a really good seat right now. Crank up our crowd mic a little bit, see if you can hear them getting down there on the sideline. But a drubbing of the Vicksburg offense. Not something we could have really anticipated before this game. Thought it would be close in a lot of ways, and it was for quite a long time. When the floodgates broke open, it was that Preston Shackelford bomb just before the half, the 41-yard touchdown pass to Connor O'Rourke. O'Rourke would score a second touchdown on the triple option long scamper, that 31-yard touchdown off of the pitch. And then the final one taken in by Tungate, the fullback, after another long drive to put it away in the fourth quarter. You add it all up, Connor O'Rourke absolutely going to be, for what it's worth from iVote, an honorary player of the game. Had his fingerprints on it in absolutely every way, even on the defensive side. And for the Bulldogs, they're going to drop to 0-1. Mattawan opening up 1-0. We were absolutely treated, but for the weather, a little bit warm. A phenomenal football game, though, between two teams that expect now to find themselves in the playoffs. Congratulations to Coach Jerry Schultz coming into Mattawan in his first year, and a W checked off for game number 1. Can't overstate what that means. Coach Tom Marquez falls to 82-74 career, but again, playing up here to D2, a Smack and Wolverine crossover event, if you will, and it's just a tough assignment for Vicksburg to open up 3 years in a row with Smack teams. Bulldogs now 0-3 in those games, but boy, when it comes to Wolverine conference play, they always turn that switch. Your final score, once again, here from Mattawan, it's the Mattawan Wildcats 18 and the Vicksburg Bulldogs 0. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm Tanner White here on the Mattawan Wildcats Network.
Congratulations, Wildcats.
You've been listening to live coverage of the Mattawan Wildcats on the Mattawan Wildcats Network, powered by highschoolstreaming.com. Today's game was presented by Main Street Pub, Whiteman & Associates, Bud Distributing, Boss Services, Net Designs Web Design, and by Tapper Automotive. Listen to hundreds of hours of Mattawan Wildcats action right here on the Mattawan Wildcats Network, powered by highschoolstreaming.com. Thanks for listening. This is the Mattawan Wildcats Network.